Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Tuesday, November 12th, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with Monday Night Raw, broadcast live last night on the USA Network from the Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan. In the main event, women's tag team champions Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill successfully defended their title against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. After the match, the champions were blindsided by Nia Jax, leading to a show-ending brawl that also involved Io Sky, Tiffany Stratton, and Naomi.
Jade Cargill and
They got through it in the end, but right now, Nia Jax is cleaning house.
Yeah, don't celebrate too soon, not with the kind of personnel that were hanging around this ring.
Nia Jax was looking away. Here comes Io Sky. Io Sky is getting into it.
Well, the women's locker room has seemingly cleared out. Here's the number one contender for Liv Morgan's Women's World Championship out here to lend a hand.
World champion Gunther opened the show with an in-ring promo during which he was confronted by Damian Priest, who then laid out Ludwig Kaiser. Later in the show, Priest defeated Kaiser in a one-on-one match. During another in-ring promo, Bronson Reed was jumped by Seth Rollins, leading to a pull-apart brawl, after which Adam Pearce made a match for next week between Reed and Rollins.
No! Big Bronson Reed suicide dive! 340 pounds! And now Seth jumps right on him to attack more.
How the hell did Seth Rollins get out of the way of that dive, but immediately back on top is Bronson Reed. More security, more officials heading down here.
As now Adam Pearce brings his team of officials.
In other results, Pete Dunne defeated Kofi Kingston. The team of Kairi Sane, Io Sky, and the returning Dakota Kai beat Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Sonya Deville. And the final testament left the Wyatt Six laying after an impromptu brawl between the two factions. And in ratings news, SmackDown last Friday drew a viewership of 1.536 million to USA Network, according to Programming Insider. That's up from the previous week's audience of 1.428 million. The rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a 0.47, also up from the previous week's rating of 0.43. AEW Rampage also aired later the same evening, drawing 237,000 viewers to TNT, according to WrestleNomics. That's a significant increase of more than 35% from the previous week's audience of 173,000. The demographic rating for Rampage was a 0.07, also up from the previous week's rating of 0.05. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.